Hello, my name is Ken Currie from the Waikato Rugby Union. Today on the show, we're going to talk about goats. Actually, only joking. I'm going to talk about referees, but they're fairly similar, to be fair. I've got Damian Botherway on the show today. He is a Premier Rugby referee. Welcome to the show, Damian.
Thanks, Ken. Good to be here.
How is your season going so far, big man?
It's going really well. We've got a really tight Premier competition, just heading into the second round. A lot of competition, so it makes for good refereeing. Mate,
how did you get into refereeing? A lot of players, when they finish their career want to be coaches and that, but you've become a referee.
Yeah, as a player, I was one of those guys that always had plenty of advice for the referee, coupled with, for years, my old man refereed. So I thought it was only fair that I then got in and actually had a go myself.
Sideline abuse, how do you deal with that? It's not something that's very appealing, is it?
No, it's not at all. And to be honest, we find it more often in the lower grades, the junior boys, the high school level, where a lot of parents are living vicariously through their children. They see their child as the next Richie McCaw, Dan Carter. So they get pretty intense out there. The way we deal with it is generally just to thank them for their advice and move on, because a lot of it's uninformed. So you're best just to park it and move on.
So what do they hassle you about? Because you wear your tights particularly short and up near your neck.
Yeah, that's a common one, Kent. My appearance, my running style, but never my good looks.
Hey, look, mate, where do you want to go in your refereeing career? Like, do you want to one day coach at an international level or whatever? Why do you do it?
Yeah, my goal ultimately is I'd love to be refereeing at Super 15 level. So I see that as my ultimate goal and something I'm working towards at the moment. Anything other than that would just be fantastic.
So what's the actual pathway, though, for you?
Yeah, from here, I guess for me, refereeing at Premier level is to move into and continue to referee rep stuff, the lower level stuff below ITM Cup. I'm talking under 18s, under 20s, development level. From there, hopefully you get picked up in the NZRU system, do a bit of Heartland, ITM Cup, and then on from there to the likes of the Super 15 and International.
So how long have you been refereeing for?
Coming into my 6th season now.
Yeah. And where did you start? Like, what grade did you start in?
You started down at under 11s on a Saturday morning down at the local park. Yeah.
Nice. And then from there you get into secondary school, is it? And then to age grade club level, and then is it on to senior premier?
Yeah, dead right. And that generally takes, or depending on ability and how much time you've got to put in, can take anywhere from a couple of years to, some guys have taken 10 years to get there.
Is that a typical pathway, or can guys pretty much go straight into club rugby?
We've seen the odd example of guys that have done, a month or two of high school rugby and then gone straight into club rugby. And they're generally guys that have played to a fairly high level, whether it be a lot of Premier rugby or rep rugby. So
what are the measuring sticks for you to, like, say, go to secondary school rugby, then on to club rugby? Like, is there a criteria that you have to meet? And if so, what is it?
Generally, it's fairly subjective. We've got referee coaches and assessors, and they'll come and look at you and really judge whether you're competent at that level and whether they perceive that you can handle moving up to a higher level of rugby. Outside of that, we do have things like fitness tests, the yo-yo, the beep test, also law exams. So those are certain measures that we can put in place. That some of them are subjective, some of them are objective.
Coaches and players, they get heaps of resource thrown at them. Is it the same for referees? And what is the type of support that you guys get?
We're fairly well resourced in that Waikato Rugby Union provides a referee education officer whose role is there to try and improve the education, the ability of all referees. Outside of that, the Waikato Rugby Referees Association employ a trainer, and we have Monday night conditioning sessions. Personally, I have a one-on-one coach, so I meet with him regularly, share my planning and my reviewing with him. Outside of that, we get a bit of time with the likes of the rugby development officers who work for the union, as well as some of the trainers. So we get a fair bit of resource thrown at us.
Now, do you get together as referees and just discuss refereeing and issues that are arising on Saturdays and how to deal with those types of things?
Absolutely. We have Monday night meetings, so every Monday night during the season we'll get together for an hour and a half or so, and there's an element of education in that, so it might be breakdown, might be scrum, and then also just general talk.
Now, you've been seen on the sideline at Waikato Stadium during ITM Cup games as well. What's your role there?
A couple of roles there, either as an AA, assistant referee, so running up and down the sideline with a flag, helping the guy in the middle out. Otherwise it's sub control, so making sure that the subs go on at the right time. There's only 15 players on the field, so forth.
Look, mate, we haven't got long to go, but here's your opportunity to promote refereeing. Why should people get out there and referee?
Oh, it's a great way to stay involved in the game. If you're passionate about rugby, if you no longer want to be a player, then definitely get involved. What I hear a lot from guys is that they wish they got involved sooner. They've been battling away as a club player and either not really enjoying the training or not really enjoying getting beaten up each weekend, and so got into refereeing. It's a great way to stay active. There's a longer lifespan than there is as a club player. So definitely, if you're thinking about it, come and give it a go. You can be as involved or make it as relaxed as you want to. So not everyone has to be the next Paul Honus. If your level, if you only want to do first 15 in the morning, then there's a place for you. There's a place for everyone.
We've got to cut it short there, Damian, but thanks very much for coming on the show. Mate, you guys are great. As referees, you guys are great. I think without you guys, there wouldn't be any game, and I know you do get a fair bit of stick, but at the end of the day, thanks very much for everything that you guys do in the Waikato community game, because it's huge, and I don't think people really appreciate it that much. But keep up the good work out there. You're progressing well as a referee, and hopefully one day we see you out there in a Super Rugby uniform. Maybe refereeing the Blues versus the Bulls or something like that.
Thanks, Kent. Appreciate it.
That's the end of the Natter here in Matamata. Katrina will be back with you after the break.